Hey mate, how we going? What's it sound like on that? Test, sound test. Just checking that mic. What's that like? Any feedback? Yeah, sweet. Just wait for a few of the boys to get on and we'll kick it off. What's been happening? Just going to try and connect this Facebook Live, see if I can do a double over in one. We will see. What is up, guys? All right, let's just put this over. Haha. Good stuff, Mick. Don't entice me. I might have to fire up the Slivovica. I'm just trying to do a duel. I'm seeing if this work. I've never done this before. I'm live on Tube, obviously, but I'm trying to put a stream up on the Facebook page as well, and then share that to the group. So see if I can knock two birds out with one stone here. You know what, Mick? It has been a big week. I think I'm going to get a glass out and have just one glass tonight. Don't really feel like drinking, but whatever. Bear with me, guys. I'm just setting this Facebook thing up. All right. All right, let's see. Is that working? Customize my dashboard. Joel, welcome, buddy. Yeah, got some stuff coming up. So give me a second. I'm just setting up a Facebook Live at the same time. Welcome aboard. The VBs. I think I might have to join this party. Sounds like I'm just adjusting my mic. Yeah, I might have to join this party. That does sound good. Everyone here, what's the sound like on that? Good? All right. Is that giving me the go live? Yeah, and test broadcast. Is that working? New post. What's that about? I did work. Okay. So that was a test broadcast. If you're wondering what that was, Going to end that one. Actually, I wonder if we can just run it through the test broadcast. It says test. Is that working live? Just joining it on my... You know what it's not doing? It's not picking up my webcam. I did work, okay. That was a test broadcast. If you're wondering what that was, I'm going to end that one. Yeah, I am going to end it. All right. Actually, I wonder if we can just run through the test broadcast. It says test. So it's running through browser instead of my webcam. That's pretty funny. Josh C., welcome aboard, buddy. You know what it's not doing? It's not picking up my webcam. Mick, yeah. This one comes with a slight bend, bro. I've tried to put it down, but I wear so many different hats that... Yeah, I am going to end it. All right. Yeah, let me just cancel that other... Some of them come with the... Especially if they're the snapbacks, they don't come with a massive bend like the other ones. Yeah, we used to bend them back in the 90s, bro. Not this 21st hat bullshit. 21st century. I like it. Yeah, they didn't really make the snapbacks as much as they do now. It's like a thing now. Back in those days, you just had cap and that was it, and you just bent it or you didn't. You know. How can I actually? What the hell is going on here? This thing is all over the shop. Facebook is not being fun. Oh, yeah, there we go. Why won't it let me? This might be. I'm going to leave the Facebook thing, I think, because it is just been. It's going full weirdo on me, so I'm not going to. I'll fuck with that another time, I think. Oh, here we go. The 90s, man. What a great era. All right. Give me a sec. I'm gonna have to pour a glass here. Let's get amongst it. Wait 2 seconds. Oh, that was a shot at Boston, wasn't it? I can switch this up, bro. I've got the East Coast covered. I'm an East Coast boy. I've got the Knicks. Yeah. See that? In an instant. I got a couple of really nice hats this week. Actually, got one of the New Era. All right, let's get that away. Should I? We'll see how I go after one. Mark, am I getting the Bulls approval? I actually like this one. This is a really good one. If you're after some good hats, check out Hat Locker on eBay. My man hooked me up some really sick one. I bought one for my friend. I bought her a New York one, and I got a Bulls one of these two tones. Different to this, it had a like a really black top, and then it had like a teal on the front. It was really, really nice. I couldn't resist him, and sent brother a message, and he gave me he ended up giving me a better deal because I bought the two hats. But he has got some real good quality. He sells a whole lot of different ones: New Era, Mitchell and Ness, all that sort of stuff. This is a Mitchell and Ness. I like those ones. But yeah, I got a couple of Bulls ones. So I got, but the Bulls one looks really sick. Instead of saying Bulls up here, it's in my car because I wear it on driving. But I'll bring it in next time. It's got the actual Bulls, the Bull logo, which looks really cool. Ooh, that's heavy shit. Back on the Slivovica, boys. Going Russian style. Going Slavic. Yeah, hard not to be a Bulls fan, isn't it? I mean, that was like, I remember in the 90s, once the East side playoffs, you had your East and your West. Like the East was pretty much like the grand finals. West didn't even count. It was pretty much everyone on the East was just going to win. Like all the best teams were on the East. You know, it was much stronger competition. It's changed now. It's like all about the West Coast now. It changed sort of in the 2000s. The 80s and 90s was all about the East. So how's everyone's? Yeah, the Bulls logo is sick. It really is. How's everyone's week's been? I've had a bit of an upside down week. I actually had today off. Had one of my best mates' dad's passed away on Wednesday, so it was pretty heavy. Got the funeral next week, so probably going to take Thursday off. I'm going to see. Oh yeah, East definitely was, I think, tougher last year for sure. Especially, but that was on the back of those trades to Brooklyn. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that, but when Brooklyn sort of put that superpower team together, I don't know how the fuck they lost that. I think it was because the injuries. I think Harden and Kyrie both got injured. I don't know if they would have won 8 in a row, man. I don't know. I watched an interview on that. Even Jordan doesn't. He was. If you watch the Last Dance documentary, man, he was burning out big time. They barely won in '93. If you remember the Knicks had them on the canvas in the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought Ewing was going to win that year. Like, you know, everyone talks about Akeem and shit. Akeem was lucky to win against the Knicks. I think a lot of people in the 90s thought that they would have won 8 in a row. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't my family, but it might as well be. Like, I've known the guy for a long time. Kenny Smith. That would have been good if they did, though. But 8 in a row, like, seriously, that's, you know, if you watch, Steve Kerr had a lot of things to say about it because on that show, where they used to have all. I don't know if you guys watched. What was it called? Open Court with it had like Steve Kerr, Kenny Smith, Barkley, Ewing, not Ewing, Shaq, Reggie Miller was on it, and who was the other one? Chris Webber and Steve Smith. They used to talk about it, and they asked him, and Steve Kerr was like, no way we would have won 8 in a row. The emotional draining it takes just to win one championship. Because they reckon, like he was saying, that when you get into your second and third in a row, like after about the halfway point in the regular season, every game is like a game 7. That's how emotional it becomes between your teammates and that. So, yeah, Open Court was so good, man. I loved it. If you guys haven't checked out Open Court, the discussions they used to have, it was just priceless. They'd all talk about, some of the older stuff they did, like when they were talking about playing against Magic Johnson and Bird and those sort of guys, was just, you can't buy those sort of stories. But yeah, a lot of people think that 94 Rockets team, it's like a common percent. Going into that, I thought the Knicks were going to win, man, because the Knicks had been, probably the second best team in, I wouldn't say 91, but definitely in 92 and 93. They were the second best team easily. They were dominating teams, beating them up. They're 93, and they had the Bulls down 2-0. I thought, oh, they're going to win here. I remember that series like it was crazy. And just how physical those games were. Like if you drove the lane, you just got absolutely smashed. It was just like football. It wasn't even basketball. Yeah, I think with the Open Court, why they don't make it anymore, I think too many of them have gone off and, they all still work together, like Barkley and what was the guy that used to run it? He wasn't a basketball, Ernie Johnson. Ernie. Yeah. Oh, fouls were fouls, man. Holy crap. It's hard to watch the game now, and some, what someone said to me this week, and I didn't even think about it. They were like, why are there even big men in the game now when the big men are outside shooting 3? It doesn't even make sense. And it's a fair point. The game should just be all like 5'10" to 6'6". You don't need people that are taller than that. Like in the modern game, you really don't. With the pace and just shooting 3s and stuff, like you don't need big men at all. They don't play defense. They don't play, rebounds aren't a big factor. Neither's defense. Big men are still dominating, but they're still, yeah. And I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, like you see them out there shooting 3s. There's not really much post game anymore. You only needed them back in the day to play defense and get rebounds. That was it. I saw that LeBron at center. That's the future of the game, though. 6'7", 6'8" centers that just run up and down all day. You don't need anyone above 6'10". You really don't. You could argue a lot smaller than that. I saw it on TV. Someone said it. He's like, it won't be long until we actually don't see 7-footers in here because they're just slowing the game down. And even though Jokic is like an unbelievable player, he is really slow. Man. You just go on YouTube and type in stuff like Ewing versus Shaq and stuff like that, and Mourning versus Ewing, and you Robinson versus Hakeem. The little battles they used to have were just awesome. They'd put up like 40 points on each other and 15 boards. It's crazy. Now it's just like they just dribble up half court and shoot it from the logo. That's what I'm saying. Why do you need big men? Westbrook is like what, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" at best. He's sort of a big point guard. Yeah. Well, they can't touch each other. That's, you know what I mean? So it's taking that defensive aspect out because they can't hand check. If they drive, it's a foul straight away. So, and that's why there's so much spacing. The lane is just, it used to be the other way where they'd clog the lane up. All 4 or 5 guys would collapse into the lane. But now they're just all, they spread out. So did you guys see my post? I think it was early this week or late last week. It's been an emotional couple of days. Forgive my memory. I did put a post up saying that I've pulled the pin. I've pulled the trigger on it. Not pulled the pin. Sorry, I've pulled the trigger, and we're going to be doing some card grading submissions. Hopefully, starting April. I've updated the website, and I've put those products up there so you can see. I will be adjusting them, and they're going to look a little bit different, but I've just put them in sort of the basic format. I am going to be having a few different pricing systems, and hopefully, group submissions, Mark. That's right. Yeah, so it's going to be great for all of us. You know what I mean? So I'll try and be as fair as I can with pricing and stuff like that. I've got to set up. I'm going to be doing PSA since they've reopened regular. It still is expensive, but it's not like the $500 thing. They've got it down to like where it's $100 or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be doing PSA, SGC, Beckett, CGA, and TCG. Kinky. I know, Mick. I know, right? Got to spread the love around, bro. Got to spread the love. So I've got to I am setting up a post office box, because obviously I don't want that many cards getting sent straight to the house. So yeah, I'll set it all up properly. I'm going to be getting, I've already registered business name and all that sort of stuff. But I am going to be setting up insurance. So everything will be insured from my post office box to my house to, STC is really good value, Mark. I have to agree. Their prices haven't really inflated as much as the others. But yeah, I'll have a full insurance post office box. So, rest assured, I'm going to put up a couple of video tutorials on how I want you guys to package up your singles, just so that when they come in, I don't really want to be handling them too much, if that makes sense. I don't want to be popping them out of sleeves and back in. I just want to be able to take them and package them in with the bunch, redo the submission in bulk, and then send them off. So that's what I want to do. Oh, that was my missus. So that's. Just give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Mrs. just sent me a message. Just got to get my daughter into bed. I'll be 1 minute. If you want to grab a drink, now's the time. I'll be like 1 minute. All right, back. Mick, what'd you get? You just bought an ungraded MJX 2001. Damn. That's awesome, man. Is that the same? Is that the Skybox series, X 2001? Is that the same one that I think there's a Kobe in that series as well? I tried to get that card a while ago if it's the same one. Yeah, so if you guys have got questions, concerns, or any of that stuff, hit me up. If you think of something, hit me up, send me a message, because I want to make this service like a permanent thing. To begin with, we'll probably just do it like monthly for each service, and then if the demand is there, we can increase it. But at the start, we'll just do monthly, just to make sure I'm not too flooded with, because there's already been a lot of interest in it. So, and I want it to be something that you guys can trust in as well. So, that's one of the goals. So, I've been talking with, a lot of people, and it's just, it's going to be happening. Hopefully we'll kick it off in April. If it if there's a few little speed bumps or whatever, it might get pushed back a couple of weeks. But yeah, I think monthly is the way to go, man. Just so we're not too confused with, overwhelming submissions and stuff like that. So all things considered, I think monthly will be the way to go. Now, someone did send me a message saying, is there going to be HGA? Initially, there was going to be, but HGA is... Now, I like HGA, just to clear it up. I love HGA. Their cases are really, really nice, and they're definitely going to be one of the big companies in the future. However, they are so backlogged, probably worse than any other company right now, because as soon as Beckett and PSA closed down for like a year or whatever it was, everyone just went to HGA. So they've bitten off way more than what they can chew. And the submission that I did with them in November, which is 4 months ago, is still sitting in, because you can see like the status updates, it's still sitting in the original. Yeah, like HGA, I like HGA. Just the backlog is disturbing. Now, I wouldn't want to take all your guys' cards and go, yeah, let's go HGA and pump HGA when we're realistically not going to get them back for 6 to 12 months. Unless that's not a problem. But I think the push on HGA is a little bit too high at the moment. I think there's way too many people using them. So they're not going to get sloppy. It's just going to be very delayed. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, if people are okay with the massive delays on HGA, it could be something that will roll out, but I think we'll just stick to the 5 that I said before. The 5th one was TCG, by the way. I've been talking with them, which is a strictly TCG/Pokemon. So for all the guys that I know, some of you are really into the TCG stuff. We will do that one monthly as well, just to send off our Pokemon cards and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's going to be exciting as well. They're an Australian company and they've got really, really nice labels. I was going to do PGS, which is that one that I did last time with the submission, but I think when one of those labels came back wrong, I was just like, the grading. So I did see some of the horizontal slabs and they look really good. Card Authority do a similar thing as well, but yeah, it's for another. We'll see if the HGA thing comes into play, but at the moment we'll just stick to those, and we'll do some monthly subs. Everyone can get on board. There'll be the format will be something like this. There'll be a number of slots per, say if it's like CGA or whatever, there might be 50 slots. If it's going to be PSA, there might be 20 slots. BGS 20 slots, whatever it is. We'll work out the slot numbers. Platinum Standard, yeah. I haven't used them before. The other one that I was looking at, and I did message them, and let me just bring up my email because they emailed me. Pure Graded X was the other one. They had some really nice looking labels, and I wanted to use them just to see what it came back with. So yeah, that's something that we'll look at in the future, definitely. Have you got those back, Mark, or are you still are they in transit now? Who asked about the pricing before? Okay, so what I'm going to do is link, and I'll put it on the Facebook page and the group as well, but I'll link the products so you can see. I've got a rough idea of, so the pricing, Mick, let me just have a quick look. I've got it on my website, and this is just, these prices are not finalized. So the SG, I'm just looking at it now. SGC submissions are going to be around about the $50 mark. Beckett submissions are going to be around about the 100. TCG is going to be about 25. PSA is going to be around about 150. And CGA is going to be about $17. Now, these are not, this is just what I've sort of roughly worked out where we can all be happy. If you're wondering why the Beckett and the PSA are much higher, that's because they don't offer the bottom tier services that they used to. Does that make sense? They only offer it's like standard and to the express level and up, which are much more expensive. So I'm not just like charging more. They're still going to be a bit backlogged with those, but Beckett and I think Beckett offer the second bottom one, which is about whatever it is. But yeah, I will try and get some sort of bulk compensation from those guys, but I don't know if they offer that to small players like us. But yeah, obviously PSA and Beckett is a little bit more expensive. So if you're thinking about getting cards graded with those guys, make sure it's sort of medium to top tier, because that's how much it's going to cost even if you went directly to them. They don't offer the bottom economy services or standard services like the SGCs and CGAs and stuff like that. So no. Like for CGA and stuff, it's going to be regular stuff. So CGA, TCG, SGC is going to be like normal. SGC is a little bit more expensive now, man. It's like $35 US or something. So that's why I've got to charge $50 because that's pretty much like I'm not making much out of these at all. It's just a couple of dollars per card, literally. I'm being upfront with you. So, at the start, a lot of it will be expenses paid on me, like literally, especially around postage and stuff. So, if it doesn't get a good turnover, so I've got to, that's why I really need to get down to the nuts and bolts of it so that we're all sort of, one, I'm not ripping you guys off, and two, I can still make a small amount on it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not going to make me a millionaire or anything. So yeah, it'd be around about the 50-ish mark, I'd say, maybe 52 or something like that. I've tried to work it out where it's where it's reasonable, because you got to factor in postage and shit like that. People don't think that. They just think, oh yeah, $50. Oh, you're making like $5 or $6 or whatever it is. It's like, well, yeah, I am, but then I'm paying for your postage, and then you return postage as well. So do you know what I mean? So that's where we do rely on a few numbers to get on board. So, and we'll work out which ones are working. If we all just start doing SGCs or CJs or whatever, then, I'll leave the other ones up and we'll be able to figure it out, I think, on the run, as more and more people start joining our community, we'll be able to do that. So exactly, man. So slab to charge them 55. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be around about that. And that's why they're doing that. It's not that they're probably making not much on that at all. They're probably making $2 a card, maybe $1 a card after postage, like literally. So, and don't get me wrong, Slabbed have got a much bigger name than what I do, but for them to be charging that's not much. That's 55 Australian, and so I think it's 30 US for SGC. So that's about 30 US is about 40 something bucks Australian, right? So figure it out. After postage, there's not much. Yeah. So I'm trying to be reasonable. I understand there's competition, but there's not that many people doing this in Australia. I think there's Slabbed. There's a couple others. I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't think they offer bulk servicing anymore. But I will look into that. Oh, yeah, actually. What did I say? I think. Let's have a look. What did I put? And this is subject to change. I'll just click on this. I think I put. No, I can't see it on the website. I need to go into the back end of my website. I need to go into the back end. I think I capped it at like 20 spots or something. So, but if the demand is there, I can make it bigger. Do you know what I mean? That's just my choosing, because I don't want to, say 15 or 20 spots or whatever, but then there's 50 people that want to do it. So, plus if you want to do multiple cards or whatever. So, but we'll look at all that stuff as well, and we'll just adjust it as we need to on the run. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be taking it seriously and stuff because I know there's a lot of people been hitting me up saying, can we get bulk submissions going, all that sort of stuff. And at first I wasn't that keen. I'm like, yeah. And the thing that worries me, and I'm not worried about it, like I'm going to run it as legit as I can. But the thing, I don't want to handle people's cards that much. So that's why I'm going to try and put a video up to show you guys how to bundle them up and blah, blah, blah. I'll be taking it as, yeah, Mick. Oh, God. That is funny. Hey, well, you know what else I'll be doing? I'll put up a couple of little tutorials for you guys, like pre-grading and stuff like that, just to give you, an idea of what to look at before you decide if you think the card's worth grading or not. And like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, it comes down to eras. So like pre-1990, there's different sort of eras and there's different sort of markets. I'm more of the older cards. That's just me. I appreciate the new stuff I do, but it hasn't really, we're all from different eras. You always see your era as something special. But I think everything pre-1990 is almost worth grading now, as we sort of, move forward in time. And I think that's going to creep into the early 90s. I was about to say that, Mick. I'd say the early to mid 90s will start to factor in over the next 5-10 years. That'll all be you just get it and grade it. But ultra modern, I think, is where you need to make sure, well, not make sure, but try to get cards that are going to get 9 or 10, because especially ultra modern, you're looking at 2016, 2017 to now. That's ultra modern. If you're not getting 9s and 10s, it's arguable if it's worth grading or not, because especially if you go to resell, the card values at say between a 5 and say an 8 is the same as selling raw in the modern market. That's how the modern market views it. So I'm going to put up videos on some pre-grading stuff, just the things to check over, like your 4 points, your services, surface, edging, corners, and centering. And I'll show you some of the stuff that I do to look at those things, the different cards. Yeah, I think so. That's what I was getting at with ultra modern 9+, and then, or unless it's PC and you just want to slab it. Kemp rookies, yeah. See, Kemp, what was he a rookie in 1990, I think? So yeah, and that's why it's not because it doesn't look good in a slab. It's because you got to pay like $100 to get it graded, 100 US or whatever it is, which is over $100. That's like 150. Just to get it encased, and then if it's not worth anything. Your PC, it doesn't matter. You just slab it. It's your expense anyway. So if you got the money for that, but if you're looking at, I might keep it or I might sell it, you need to make sure it's close. You think, this could go for a 9 or 10. Man, you just keep pushing. I've had 10s accidentally. That last submission, I thought I was going to get heaps of 10s, and then the ones that I all thought were going to get 10s, because I'd pack pulled them, they were all getting like 6s and 7s and 8s. But the ones that I had no idea about, like those Prism Wilts, I got I got 2 10s and a 9 for the Wilt Chamberlains, which was pretty cool. Yeah, 101, you don't, Speaking of that, I got this last week. This is a Andrew Bogut. Now I've sort of been, I got this for $40, and it's a 4 of 9. Now that's a giveaway. That's a rookie card. He mustn't have checked the market on that, because this is the only one I ever saw up for sale. And I saw it for $40, and I'm like, mine. It's one of the thick patch ones as well, so it's a patch. I've got 3 of his rookies now. Andrew Bogut, just someone I started PCing a little bit. I'm just into the Aussies, I've got him, Shane Heal, Andrew Gaze. You got a 5 last time, yeah. You just got to keep pushing with it. Yeah, Luke. Yeah, that's crazy, man. The chances of getting a card like that, like I said, it's the modern market's lottery, isn't it? Hey, Zakaya. Look at that. What's up, buddy? That's my nephew, boys. I don't know if you guys can read chat. Zakaya Games. Give him a shout out. Yeah, the MJ. Well, he doesn't know this yet, but just doing some lives, buddy. You playing some games? He's how old are you, Zakaya? 10? 10 or 11. He's joining the stream. He's into it. He's a good boy. Well, you know what? I'm not. I know I can't ruin it. I think I said it on live a couple of weeks ago, but he'll go and tell his dad. His dad's a Souths man. He may or may not have some surprises coming in the mail. I did have to send. He's 11. Good boy. I did have to send him back to Robbie from Card Authority. But I'm going to leave it at that because the word will get back. Kids don't know how to lie. No funny business, mate. I'm not even going to sip my drink in front of him. I've got to put on my good boy hat. Oh, what happened to South? I haven't even looked. I saw him post on Facebook. He said, glory to South Sydney. Did they get pumped? It's only 9:40 up here, Mick. Daylight saving, buddy. Daylight saving. We live in Queensland. There is no daylight saving. No, we're going to keep it in. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to chill off the drinks. Because I swear like a trooper after I've had a couple of glasses of Slivovica. 11-4. Oh, my God. Was that final score, Mick? Or is that game still in progress? Now, he is an absolute diehard South Sydney fan. Yeah, final score. Okay. Geez, that's going to be, yeah. He's one of those guys that thinks Souths are going to win the premiership every single year. Doesn't matter what's going on. Is Wayne Bennett still coaching them? Or did they finish up last year? Was Bennett the coach? Was it his last game coaching or something? The Donkeys. Is Bennett back at the Donkeys? God, man, that guy. The Dolphins, that's right. He's going to Redcliffe, isn't he? Yeah. Wait, a Redcliffe in the comp this year? What is going on with that? Dolphins, yeah. I did actually know that. Sorry. I knew that. Because he's invested in him. I know that. He's sort of like doing the Kevin Sheedy with everyone calls them donkeys, mate. The donks. My grandma used to call Broncos the donks. That was back in the 90s. She hated the donkeys. 23 for the Dolphins. Okay, so that's next year. Now that is going to make it very interesting. Queensland will have a 4th team and 3 in Southeast Queensland. So that's going to make the games, the rivalries are going to be epic. It's the Queensland-based rivalries, I think, in sport are just brutal. Like, you watched even the Titans when they play the Broncos. The game it goes to another level. It's the same with the Suns versus the Lions. They just hate each other. No, mate. No, I used to many years ago. Used to have a punt. Used to have a system, but not anymore. Mate, you watch all the mid-year signings that are going to happen, like to the Dolphins. Joel, he'll be signing boys left and right. You know it. He's one of those guys. He'll have a black book of players. He'll probably ring and just be like, "Yeah, I'll pay you double." What's your coach paying you? I'll pay you double. I mean, I hardly have any bets these days at all. Oh yeah, yeah. If it's Wayne Bennett, man, like seriously, and he's like one of those guys that he's one of those coaches that players would want to play for. You know what I mean? Oh, I got a couple of bros, Mick. They love the punt, bro. You guys would be all over it together. And one of my mates, he loves it. He's got guy I used to work with, Ian. He's hardcore. You know, he still sends me like the links so he can get his like referral money, so he can put on another $5. He's one of those guys. He'll like make a new account for sports bet. Yeah, man, I got you. You get the $5 each, whatever it is. I'm like, nah, man, no. Yeah, he does these insane multis like every weekend. He'll just be like, and you go to his house and you have like a TV screen here, and one there. He'll have like horses, you know, two different codes of football, and then he'll have it split screened with like a cricket as well or something. It's freaking crazy. See you, Zekiah. See you, buddy. Say hello to Uncle Dave. Tell him I got a present for him next time. He doesn't know. I hope he likes Greg Inglis. I know he does. $20K on the Winks. Oh my god. Yeah. Freaking A. Just give it another few seconds and I'll say fucking A. I just want to make sure he's off the air. Oh man, Ian's a $5 punter. He loves it. You know. He's one of those dudes that will have like if he put it all together, I said it to him, he's got to stop doing it. But he'll have combinations. He'll bet like on the rugby, the league, the soccer, the cricket, the horses, and the AFL all in one. You just have this massive multi long-legged thing, and you just been like, how the fuck can you even work that out? You know? Yeah, where am I again, bro? All the way. Zakaya's off the air. I wanted to keep it respectful. I know there's some younger viewers, but I'm pretty sure all us are in here are like 18 plus, so we're all good. I'm glad he announced that. Otherwise, I would have been fucking dropping Fs and C bombs left and right. I'm pouring myself another drink. Let's get into it. So, is everybody cool with the? I am going to put some more information out about as we get closer to the grading thing. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, man, just hit me up and you can message me, add me on Facebook if you want. I'm friends with some of you guys on Facebook anyway. But yeah, nephews, bro. No, he's a good little boy. He's actually got his own YouTube channel. He plays Fortnite or whatever it is, but he loves it. He plays it on PC. Oof. Yeah, for sure. I'll do monthly subs, bro, and we'll work it all out, and it'll be a fair system. And I'll put some shoots up on how to package up, so I don't need to handle minimum stuff like that. I've been wanting to do SGC for a long time, and that's why I definitely included them. I think it could be the most popular one, even though it's still 30 or 35 US or whatever it is. I think it'll still be good because it's if you look at, even if you're going to resell SGC at the moment with that lower price compared to PSA or Beckett, who are charging like over $100, whatever it is. Yeah, you'll get definitely closer to getting your money back, with their cards. So, and their slabs aren't too bad, and their grading system is really good. Yeah, they are. They're very different to all the others. The SGC slabs very different. The black borders, very different, and their grading system they're quite brutal with their grading system. They definitely do not give you cheap grades. I think I've only ever had 2 10s off them, or 3 10s out of like 30-something cards that I've sent. But yeah, they got their system. Oh, nice, Mick. Yeah, man. I miss going to the NBL. Like we used to have a friggin' the Tuxedo Slabs, bro. They used to have a team on the coast, but I think that fell through. I think it was around 2010, 2011, the last time. I can't remember what they called. Was it the Stars or something? I can't remember. Years ago, it used to be the Rollers and the Giants and everything like that. And then I know a couple of teams folded and reopened. The Bullets are back in, aren't they? Is there a Bullets team still, Brisbane, in the NBL? I don't watch the games much anymore. I watch the shorts that they put up on, the short videos they put up on. Breakers. Yeah, the Breakers, man. That was them. No, the Breakers is New Zealand, bro. Or was it the Gold Coast? I thought New Zealand Breakers. Is it? You know what? I think they were the Breakers. Bullets play at Mount Gravatt. Okay, so there is a Bullets team. Actually, Haitian, I think you're right. Like ages and ages ago, they were the Breakers before the Rollers. Or they went from Rollers to Breakers. The Rollers, man. Jesus, I remember that. I used to go to some of their games. They used to play it. What if you believe it's a 10? Yeah. That's a good question. So what I would do is, in that situation, without trying to sound too dishonest, but you don't know that it's a 10, even if you believe it. So I'd lowball yourself to a 9 and go market price on comps. Is that what you're talking about? Declared value? But and the other thing is too, is I haven't had much issue with declared value, right? Yeah, New Zealand Breakers. I haven't had too much issues with declared value. So yeah, I'd definitely go low, man, because you don't know. Like half the time you send it, you think it's a 10, it's a 9, or even lower. So you know what I mean? Lowball yourself. You cannot prove and it is still one of those grey areas with values, man, with card values, Mick. It's one of those grey areas. We don't know. We genuinely don't know. You can guess all you want. You can say, oh, I reckon this card's worth $200. You just don't know that though, man. And top of that, some cards, if there's not many, like there's not much comps on it, and that was like that Wilt Chamberlain 10 that I got. There's only been 2 of them, and I didn't even realize that, which made the card a lot more special than what I realized. That Wilt Chamberlain 3rd-year Prism, the 99 serial number 1. I'll probably keep that one forever because the value on that's going to go through the roof in a few years, because I just didn't realize. And there wasn't enough comps data. So if you're sending in cards that don't have comps data, definitely lowball it because they can't prove that it's high anyway. The only cards, if you're thinking about declared value, Mick, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. If it's a really highball card, like in the thousands, I'd go the 1K. Or you could look at, say, a price. Look at say like Raw versus 9. Do you know what I mean? Or you could go raw versus 8 and say, I did a pre-grade service myself and I deemed that it would get an 8. There's no way they can prove it. I mean, if it's a perfectly flawless card, because the only ones looking at declared value. Oh, good stuff. I got to find out. I got to find out from my friend where she gets this from. She's Bosnian. Yeah, really good stuff. It does. The address on this does say Victoria. I think. It's Russian. It's a .rs. That's Russian. So yeah, and it's written in foreign language. No, the back bottle. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, there is a. Okay, so it says Phlox Wines and Spirits Pty Ltd. 377 Settlement Road, Thomastown, Victoria, 3074, and there is a website. Shout out to phloxwines.com.au. Yeah. Quite strong, I must say. But our Slavic cousins definitely know how to drink. That's for sure. Yeah, just declare lower, Mick, because the only people that are actually worried about declared value is customs, not the grading companies. Does that make sense? A lot of people don't get the difference. They think it's the grading companies that are doing it. It's not. The only time the grading company is going to call, yeah, exactly, Hastings, customs, mate, customs. You got to remember that. Do you think the customs officer has any fucking idea about what a trading card is and what the fuck it's actually worth? Most of them will pick it up and go, oh, this would be worth fucking 50 cents. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying bullshit, but I'm just saying you can lowball yourself a little bit. Now, if it's a really rare, like you couldn't send an MJ rookie and go, this is only worth $200. You couldn't, because anyone could Google that. But other cards that are like mid to low, you don't need to talk that up, Bosnian. Yeah, no, don't know if she. I actually don't know. No, I think she got that from over here. But that, like how there's like the European shops in different places. On the Gold Coast, there's a few. But I think her and her father probably got that sent up from Victoria. She bought that for my birthday. We actually have the same birthday, which is ironic. So yeah, her birthday present to me was much better than the one I got her. But I'm her boss, so she got that for me because I'm a nice guy. Yeah, no chance gonna dodge that tax, bro. The only thing that I'm worried about too, if we do these bulk submissions, is if I get a whole ton of our cards together and send them, what's our declared value going to be worth? So I'm going to have to look at things like that. It just dawned in my head then. So I might have to break it up into separate ones and just to avoid, yeah. It's all about the customs, man. I tell you. That being said, if you declare something too low and it goes to a place like SGC or PSA or whatever, they will know. They will know that your Michael Jordan rookie is not worth $100, but it's worth like, a couple grand. They'll know that. So you've got to keep some aspect of honesty to it. But if the card doesn't have a lot of comps and is not that rare, you can sort of make up your own numbers, if that makes sense. Because the only people you're just worrying about customs. So yeah, I don't know, Mick. If there's a lot of those Jordan X201s going around, you might want to be careful with declared value. But if there's not much comps data on it, you might be able to get away with your own values, if you know what I'm saying. That's how I look at it. Because no one wants to pay fucking customs, man. I know I've heard stories, but I never had to. 17.5 import tax, yeah. Yeah. Well, I've sent some pretty big submissions over, and that 20 card submission that I had I was stressing because I didn't actually realize the declared value. I declared nearly $2,000. What was it, about 1,500 US, right? And they didn't charge me at all. So keep that in mind too. Now, we're led to believe that it is $1,000, right, is for import tax. However, that's proof that some things will slip through. And that was just this year. The start of this year, I think I got that sub back. So, yeah, there's lots to consider. But I think with trading cards, man, I think there's ways to get around things, you know. Definitely there is. Otherwise, you know, I think places like PSA and BGS wouldn't be backed up like they are. Has anyone seen the talk on? Oh, sorry. On is Russell Westbrook going to get traded? Because they were talking it up, but I'm not sure if they missed the deadline or not. Lakers in disarray. I don't think. Yeah, 1K plus, and you pay import tax. However, I didn't pay any tax, so I was just saying. You know, so I don't know if they deem. I don't know with the declared value thing. Maybe it is, Mick. Maybe it's different. But what I think is that if you pay for an international service and send something over and then send it back, it might come into a different category than if you just purchase something that's already over there and then it gets imported, because that's like a true import. Whereas you're sending something internationally to be graded, which technically you're not importing it. Do you know what I mean? You're sending it there to be custom encased and all that sort of stuff, and then they send it back. So does that might not fall into an import? I don't know if that makes sense, Mick, but that's how I'm seeing it. I think it might because you're using a business service, whereas you're not actually buying anything. You're buying a service, not an item. Do you know what I mean? They might look at the value of the stuff that's coming in. Oh, man, I'm pretty sure fucking KD tried to get away from Westbrook. Didn't they play where'd they play together? Didn't they play together in fucking OKC? Or was that, or am I thinking of Harden? I thought they did play together there as well. They did play in OKC together. Was it all three of them, or was it just two? Man, Westbrook has to retire. I'm saying it now. He has so little impact on the game, and he's has probably the most predictable moves. Yeah, he send him to China, honestly. He can be the MVP. You know, LeBron's a fucking idiot for even wanting him to go there. You know, it's so transparent what they're doing. Maybe if they had AD, they'd have a chance, but I think AD's still injured, isn't he? Just the two, yeah. Because I know Harden played at OKC as well, but I think it was different stints, right? Was it different stints? Like it was okay. It was Harden and KD, and prior to that was KD and Westbrook, or something like that. It did have all three of them. Okay, and they didn't. I think they made the West Finals or something, didn't they? They got knocked out by Golden State like 2 years or something. Is that what happened? Yeah. About 10 years. Yeah. I remember there was like 1 or 2 seasons where it was all three of them. Yeah, no, they don't want to do that again. It's just ball hog city. I mean, I know Harden and Westbrook both averaged like 10 assists a game, but, you know, I don't know. Did anyone watch the 76ers versus the Nets just today or yesterday? That was interesting, man. Yeah, Harden came off the bench. Yes. Yep. The 76ers with Harden and Embiid. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Fuck, I forgot about that. They did make it to the finals that one year. Yep. And they got beaten by the Heat. The first year the Heat won it with LeBron, right? Because the second year was the Spurs, I think. Is that right? They won in 12 and they won in 13. 12 was OKC. 13 was the Spurs, I'm pretty sure, because the Spurs played them again in 14 and won. And the 14 team was fucking unbeatable, man. That 2014 Spurs team was just fucking goat mode. If you watch that, it was like basketball pornography. Yeah. Yep. That was his first championship. But back on Philly versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn fucking belted Philadelphia. Dominated them by like 30 points or something. I'll bring it up. So the Nets won 129 to 100. It's a good question. Let me just bring up the stats. So, oh fuck. So Embiid had a good game. James Harden scored 11 points and grabbed 6 rebounds and 5 assists. So a fucking terrible game by his standards. Yeah, that's horrible. Let's have a look at the net stats. Yeah, dominant performing. What? So the Nets have got Seth Curry now as well. Is he related to Steph Curry? Did Simmons play? No, Simmons did not play. He's not. Patty Mills got 10 points to answer the question. Kyrie got 22. Durant got 25, so a bit more balanced attack. It is his brother. Is that his younger brother? How many shots did... Let's have a look. James Harden. No. Why isn't it giving me his... Hang on, let's have a look. It's not telling me player stats. It's not telling me his field goal percentage. It's just telling me like points, rebounds, assists, and shit. That's it. Oh, wait, if I click on it? No. Still nothing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, here it is. Oh, my God. Harden shot 3 from 17. That is fucking dismal. Man, he just cannot get up for big games, Harden. He just can't. He's you see him in the regular season. You'd think, hey, I'm going to fucking dominate my old team. 3 for 17. That's terrible. Yeah, you know what? I've actually got some old Del Curry cards that I pack pulled like back in the 90s. Mick, who do I collect? In NBA, there's a few main ones. I would say Larry Bird. I would say, who else do I collect? A little bit of Michael Jordan. Kobe, Shaq, and very recently, Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys that they say are perennial all-stars and superstars and shit, man, they're never going to win championships. I would say Harden. Yeah. Who would you rather have on your team, Harden or Westbrook? Honestly, you can't even. I actually have to think about that. Who's better? Who is better? Let's have a poll right now. Fuck, why has he not shaved that beard? It makes him look fucking terrible. Terrible. He's had that his whole fucking career, and he needs to change something, and he should start with his fucking hair, shave it all off, and go clean. His beard is in the way. Who do you guys reckon is better, Westbrook or Harden? I actually have to think about that. No, it's fucking true. His beard's horrible. He should shave that shit. He looks, yeah. I don't want to say it, but yeah, he has a certain look. You would say Westbrook is better than Harden? Fucking neither of them, man. I'm in that boat, Mark. I really am. They both fucking suck. Yeah. You know, offense, Harden, defense, Westbrook. It is flip a coin, isn't it? Neither of them are going to win championships, let's be honest. They can win infinite fucking scoring titles and MVP votes and all that shit. But, if they're on your team, you're not going to win. As simple as that. I don't know what it is. There's just certain players that never win. They're just like modern day Charles Barkleys and Karl Malones. They're good players, but they're not going to win championships. I don't know. If I had to choose one, I really don't know. I probably, for me personally, I'd probably choose Harden because he can beast mode to like 50-point games and shit. Yeah, no, I don't wonder why. KD is infinitely better than both of them. Yeah, they're both very selfish players. Yeah. And it's weird, isn't it? Because like we say they're selfish players, but they both average like 10 assists a game. But, but they're still selfish. They're just throwing those 10 assists because it's high possession basketball and they're going to be able to do it and still get their shots off just to keep their players involved so that, stat padding and all the rest of it. I remember people were talking up Russell Westbrook a few years ago going, oh, he's averaging a triple-double. He's this, he's that. And I was like, yeah, and he gets knocked out in the first round or doesn't make the playoffs at all. So triple-double doesn't mean shit. It does not mean shit. It's weird, isn't it, how basketball has changed. It's like people want to see a visual thing now. They don't want to see a player that actually impacts a game to where that impact is going to, one, win the game, or two, be effective in playoffs. Now it's just like, I'm going to fucking go balls deep on the regular season. And if I don't make the playoffs, I don't care because I averaged 40 points a game, 10 assists and 10 rebounds. So people will think I'm a good player, Yeah, KD is a 7-foot guard, man. If you look at him, he really is. Like, he's not in a forward's body at all. He's like a 2-guard. He's he's an outstanding player. I think I didn't like him at the start, but the more I watched his game, he just has so much going on. No, I don't hate him, man. I didn't hate him at the start, but I didn't like him. But now I think, especially after a few years, who's that, Mark? You talking about Harden, KD, or Westbrook? The worst part about the league right now, and that's a very interesting statement that you just put there, Mark, because a lot of it is true. He's more interested in stats than winning. Now, That's probably like 90% of the league right now. They don't care if that, what it just doesn't look like they care about winning, Whereas that's what's changed. That is what has changed since like the beginning of basketball, where players just played to win. Yeah, I would say those three. And I think you could probably throw in like maybe a Nikola Jokic. I think what's the guy from Dallas? Luka. I think he's overrated. Luka. He has big regular seasons, but he just doesn't have much impact in the playoffs. I think that's where the men get separated from the boys, is the playoffs. Some people are comparing him to Larry Bird and stuff. I think that's grossly overstated and probably unfounded. They're nothing alike, other than statistically. Statistically they're close, but outside of that, the impact is negligible. I think Steph is a really good player. I think he's a really good player, and not just for his shooting. He's a really good passer as well. Why would you say stuff like that, Mark? Like, if you're a player, you know what I mean? Players in the 80s and 90s didn't care about stats. They played to win championships, and it pissed them off if they were on bad teams. You know what I mean? Like, they took it personally. He doesn't even care. Like, why are you playing basketball? To me, like, you should be trying to be the best, It sort of bothers me that we're watching guys and we're looking up to guys that aren't even like obsessed with winning. And even though LeBron is not anywhere near my favorite player, you have to respect him because he still wants to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why he goes to different teams and that, because he's like, fuck it. Scalabrine, bro. That's where it's all about. My man Brian. My man B, the Red Mamba. Oh, man, the trolls. I don't know. You guys think Joel Embiid is in that category? That handful of players? And are we going to see Zion actually play basketball, or is he just going to be like a fatter version of? Is he just going to be like the love child of Larry Johnson and Charles Barkley that just eats pizza and sits on the sideline? Yeah, I think that's true, Mick. I think it is. Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. Yeah, that's 100%. Players want the coin, the fame, and the attention. That is where it ends. There's only a handful of them that are like, man, a bust big time, isn't it? What a bust. Yep. Can't believe I bought that guy's rookies cards, man. I'm fucking offended. I'm not even kidding. Zion pissed me off. You see a guy like that when he's in really good shape. But yeah. No, that's fair, Mark. That's a fair criticism. Until they go further in the playoffs, that's very fair. You keep getting bounced out in the semis and the conference finals. He is a myth, isn't he? He is a fucking myth. It's just like he might as well not even exist. Yeah, he's apparently lost a lot of weight, but did you see how big he was? Like, he doesn't have a choice. Doesn't have a choice, man. His legs are going to buckle under all that weight. Yeah. He's going to be wearing a brace soon. As soon as I saw that, I instantly thought of like, Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see him out there playing again, but I just don't see it. Just do not see it. Why his rookie cards are worth anything. Don't even get me started on rookies, the hype train. Yeah, it's not from being overweight, it's from carrying. Oh, that's awesome. You literally see this, isn't it? There's like one guy in each team that wants to win, and the rest are just like stat padding. You know, I think that's where the league is getting hurt because the talent has depleted so much. People think that there's like more talent now, but it's actually less, right? And I'll tell you why. He should have been a monster on Space Jam. That's awesome. Oh man, that would have been funny. But yeah, the league talent wise is so far depleted, so far depleted. And it was. If you watch the interview on Larry Bird, he actually says it. He's a straight shooter. He says all the expansion teams have actually hurt the league because if you look at like from the 50s, 60s, 70s, right through to 80s, every single team was like a super team. Every team. They talk about super teams now, but the reason why they talk about super teams now is because from like the mid 90s onwards, when they started really heavily bringing in these extra expansion teams, you've seen a league that's gone from like the 50s, there's 8 teams and there's 12 teams and 16, 20, 24, 28, etc. When there's only 8 teams or 12 teams, the advantage is that every team is going to be super competitive because a lot of good players didn't even make the league. Do you know what I mean? So every time they bring in a new expansion team, it takes away from the other teams because they have a system where you lose like a player off every team that goes to the new teams. You know what I mean? And even if it's your worst player, you still got to lose that because he was on a good team. So then you get these mixes, and it dilutes the talent field. And so every time they bring in like another 2 teams, now it's like is it 30 teams now? That's just ridiculous. There should only be 20 teams, man. 20 teams. These fucking shit teams that win like 5 games a year, they should just get cut. It should have a relegation system like the English Premier League, where if you don't cut the bottom 3, just get swapped out. D-League teams straight in. That's how they should do it. It would make the bottom teams play harder. And if you look at the English Premier League, that system works because the teams that win premierships in the tier 2, sometimes they come in and they're like they jump straight into like playoff contention because they're in their minds they just won the championship. Do you know what I mean? So the top 3 teams that don't always sit on the bottom 4, they might jump up, but that's what they should do in the NBA because the talent just is not there to support 30 teams, regardless of what all the modern day fans say. It's just not. And if this is the proof, right? If you can go, oh yeah, but look what they're doing it looks so impressive. They're all athletes and all this. If it was so competitive and every team had such great players, every fucking team would be competing for a championship and you wouldn't have any idea who was actually going to win. But instead, come playoffs, there's literally 2 or 3 teams or 4 teams max. So if you look at the East, you're looking at what? 76ers, Brooklyn, maybe the Hawks and the Bucks, right? That's it. Anything outside of that is not going to win it. It's just not. Even if they're in the playoffs, they're just making up the numbers. And if you look on the West, I don't even know on the West. Where the Jazz, the fucking Nuggets, I don't know, they're all shit. Maybe Dallas. No, fuck, he gets bounced in the first round. Has Luka ever actually made it past the first round, or does he just get destroyed in the playoffs? I don't know. Relegation system, bro. I'm telling you, relegation system. Because these super teams, they're talking about super teams, they're not even good. Like most of them would get smashed if they send them back in time. They just get crushed. Kings have been hanging around for a while. Yeah. It's the best system, Mick. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either, but their system is what wins. Is their system. It's not about teams or stacking teams or any of that shit. It's about a system, and not only doesn't sustain 2 tiers, it sustains. They have 4 or 5 tiers, Mick. 4 or 5 tiers. So you could be in the 4th tier, win the championship, go to 3rd, win the championship there, get to 2nd. You can actually get all the way up into the top Premier League. There's teams that do it, man. There was a team a few years ago, was it Hull or something? They went from they won like tier 4, tier 3, and then went from like tier 2 into the, you know what I mean? And vice versa. If you're a shit team in the top flight, you can end up in the bottom, in that fourth tier. Like, it's crazy. Even the lottery fails, man. The lottery hasn't worked, for a long time. People would probably disagree with that, but I don't care. And that just proves that expansion doesn't work, because lottery suits expansion teams, right? Do you remember? Yeah, go back and watch the hype around Patrick Ewing when he came in. That was the first ever draft lottery, right? And I think that was to support. Was it the Kings that came out that year, Sacramento? I can't remember. This is back in like '86. Lottery rigged Ewing cough. Oh, all right. Let's talk about Ewing. It definitely fucking was rigged. He was supposed to go to the Pacers, man. Just saying. Imagine he had to go on to the Pacers and play with Reggie Miller. Would the Knicks have won a championship with Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, Mark Jackson, the Davis brothers, and Patrick Ewing? I reckon they would have. Rick Smits gets replaced by Pat Ewing. Damn, that's a super team. Leicester City 2016. Where'd they come from? Tier 3? Joel, is that what you're getting at? Were they a Cinderella story? Did they go all the way? And that's proof the system works, man. That's proof the system works. KGB. Max, what up, bro? Easy, mate. Yeah. Telling you, bro, the system works. Delegation and relegation all the way. They should implement that on every sport that has like a large number of teams. They could easily chop 4 to 6 teams, League 2. Yeah, I think the Broncos did win, man. Someone called it before, Max. Welcome, buddy. I think they beat South 11-4 or something. I think that was the final score. Max, we're just talking about if a relegation delegation system could actually work in the NBA, given how depleted the talent is in the NBA. Leagues, soft league, weak league, probably, it's great to watch, but, there's like 2 teams that are going to win. That's it. Phoenix was the other one I was going to say from the West. Phoenix got an okay team, but they got pretty much fucked up in. Did anyone see the Suns in 4 thing? That guy, that was fucking hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, that team. I think their 96 team was the best one. Their 96 team. Watch the Bulls mixtape, because they didn't just have MJ and Pippen. They had a really great team. Like, you watch them, they're a really good passing team. Yeah, but do you remember when he first came into the league? He was drafted to who did he put? Minnesota, and they had a fucking shit team. There's expansion team. That's the whole thing. Expansion. They were like fucking. You chalked it up as a W when you're playing them. He was. Luke made that team, dude. I just want to say, 96 conference finals versus Orlando when they swept Orlando with Shaq. He was fucking O'Neal up. I seen him block one of O'Neal's dunks. Like, you didn't see that much. He's a big dude, Luke Longley. He really was. 7'2" and like 290 pounds. He was almost as big as Shaq. I don't know. I don't buy into the GOAT debates anymore. I used to. I used to jock MJ pretty hard. Yeah, no, yeah, he was one of them, definitely. I think they had a good team though, man. They had, Steve Kerr was a pretty good role player. So was Jude Buechler. Who else do they have? They had some Tony Kukoc. He's inducted. So if you look at that Bulls team now, dude, he did. He had a couple of games where he fucking pushed Shaq shit in. I don't care what people say. He really did. Like, I remember watching it. Ron Harper, man, fuck, he's a gun. And Ron Harper should be a Hall of Famer. He should be. Kukoc is. He got inducted this year or last year? Last year. And deservedly, he was a gun player, Kukoc. But Ron Harper, man, people fucking, when he came over and he was playing point guard, he's 6'7", and he's the same size as MJ. Yeah, but BJ didn't stick around for the second three-peat. He retired like 95, I think it was, or got traded. Or he got traded to Charlotte. But Ron Harper, man, Google Ron Harper and look at his days in Cleveland and then his days in the Clippers, the Los Angeles Clippers. So he was the captain for Cleveland and the captain for Clippers, man. He was a guy putting up like 25 points a game, 7 rebounds and 5 assists as a two guard. Yeah, man. Robert Parrish played on the 96 team, I believe. Got his 4th championship, man. Got 3 with Celtics and got another one with the Bulls. Don't know how many minutes he played. Yeah, Pippen was a fucking gun, man. So underrated as a player. Like, literally. He was their best, like, overall player. Like, the guy that could just do everything. He was a better rebounder, defender, and better passer than MJ. Just wasn't as good a scorer. Yeah, Chief was like fucking 100, man. He could barely move. Yeah, Ron Harper was a huge scorer, man. You'd go off for 40, 50 points. Especially before he did his knee. He tore his ACL, I think 88 or 89 before he went to the Clippers. Right at the end of his Cleveland series, around 89, 90, I reckon, he tore his ACL and he sat out a whole year, came back and was still really good. But then when the Bulls got him over, people didn't even know, man. And he was like, go back if you don't believe this. Ron Harper was around, he came out about the same year as Jordan, right? So around 86, 85, 86. I think Ron Harper came out the year after Jordan, the next, like the Ewing draft. Man, there was games, if you don't believe me, this is on YouTube, when he was playing for Cleveland, he used to fuck MJ up, man. Ron Harper used to fucking dominate him. If you don't believe me, hit up YouTube right now and just Google fucking Harper versus Jordan and watch Harper. There's a game he put like 50 up on Jordan and was just having his way with Jordan. Yeah, and Harp won at the Lakers, man. He's what, 5 chips, I think. 2 at the Lakers when they in the second three-peat. Man, Cleveland. That Cleveland team, man. That Cleveland team, fuck, it was ridiculous. They had, do you guys remember Brad Doherty? He was the number one pick in 89, 88? Was it 87 or 88? Brad Doherty, man. Gun center, man. Really smart player. Good passer. Could score, could do everything. Brad Doherty. They had Mark Price, man. He is the most criminally underrated point guard probably in the history of the game. He's who Steph Curry bases his game off. Watch the documentary. Steph Curry talks about him. I fucking don't like his book at all, man. He's just turned into a fucking dickhead, Pippen. Mark Price, man. He is. We watched the Dream Team 2. Mark Price was on the Dream Team 2 with Shaq, Sean Kemp, Reggie Miller. They fucking cleaned house. Yeah, Cleveland had fucking Brad Doherty, Ron Harper, Mark Price. Who else they have? They had fucking Larry Nance, senior. Who was the other two guys? Craig Elo. They had just some fucking gun players. There was more than that. They had a couple of small forwards that were really good. Yeah, just a really good team. Mark Price, man, fuck. I thought that they were the favorites to win the league in 89 and 90, Cleveland. And then Ron Harper did his ACL and then he came back. Steve Kerr was there. Yes, he was. Yeah, and the Cavs had Larry Nance Sr. Yeah, they did. They were all on the same team. Kerr was actually played with Price and Ron Harper in that team. Brad Doherty was a great player, amazing player. A lot of them got injured though. That Cleveland team got really badly injured. You know, Price had injuries, Doherty had injuries. Guys got traded. They traded Ron Harper away to the Clippers, and then the Clippers actually had a decent team. They had Mark Jackson. Yeah, Kerr played the entire second three-peat. Yeah, he played 96, 97, 98. He got traded there in 94 or 95 from the Cavs. And then they got Ron Harper, I think, in 95 as well. They had Gerald Wilkins. That's who else they had. Gerald Wilkins, yes. They had a fucking gun team, man. Gerald Wilkins. I think he came a little bit after Harper, though, because Gerald Wilkins, who was Dominique's cousin, played at the New York Knicks, if you guys remember. They played with Mark Jackson. Man, I'm telling you, the Clippers actually had a decent team. But they were just, the problem was they were unstable. They were trading guys in and out. Who's going to win this year? Fucking anybody's guess, bro. Anybody's guess. It's not going to be the Lakers, that's for sure. The Bucks, if I was to put money down now, the Bucks, and here's why: stability, and they're a proven winner. None of these other teams have even won fucking nothing. Nothing. They're all shit. I don't think the Suns, they got bounced. Who did they lost last year, didn't they? The Suns played. Who's leading the West right now? Who is on top of the Western Conference? Is it the Nuggets or is it the Suns? I didn't forget, man. Gerald Wilkins played for the Clippers. He was the captain for a bit. He also played for the Celtics when he came back from he went to Greece. Do you guys remember that? After the Clippers, he went to Greece. He tore his Achilles in Atlanta, missed a whole season. Atlanta traded him. He came back. He was still really good. And then he went overseas and he won a championship for the Greek team in the Euro League. I remember that. Dude, Wilkins was so underrated. He was such a great player. There were a lot of people pissed off that he didn't make the... Yeah, he won over in Greece, man. Panathinaikos or whatever the team's called. Bucks or Suns, Mark? I'd have to agree. Well, Mark, on Miami, I would say and I didn't realize, and you guys will probably pull me up because I'm a bit of an old dog, but I didn't realize how fucking good of a player Jimmy Buckets was, man. Jimmy Buckets. Who's on the Buckets train? He's just a great all-round player, man. I didn't think much of him. So some of these young guys just don't have much clout. They're not cutting the mustard, mate. They come into this league and they just fucking want to get 20 points a game and be famous. They don't actually want to win. 53 and 13, that's a pretty strong. 66, yeah, there's another 16 games. They'll probably go close to 60 wins. So 60 wins, I'd imagine, would go close to being pole position in your conference. 60 wins. That's how fucking weak the league is. Oh, the other team is the Warriors, man. Are they going to make the playoffs? Are they going to be a top 4 is the question. Oh, mate, too easy when there's no fucking defense. Just bombing threes from the logo. Yeah, the Grizzlies aren't winning shit, Max. You might be on the J.A. Morant train, bud. I understand that. But the reality is all he does is dunk the ball and do flashy plays. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, Jimmy Buckets, man. Jimmy's a fucking outstanding player. I realized how great he was in that series against the Lakers a couple of years ago. J. Morant, slam or nothing, do an occasional defensive play. He's just an athlete. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's tearing it, but it's whatever. I'm personally not a J. Morant fan. I don't think he's ever going to win a championship. He's just one of those flashy players that is not going to amount for much. Suns already clinched. Yeah, okay. You'd have to put them in the. I'll tell you who's a good player for the Suns. They've actually got a couple of really good players, but their guards are really good, man. They've got really good guards. They got is it Devin Booker? Devin Booker is a really good 2-guard, and their point guard, is it PG? Their point guard, Paul George. Or am I thinking of someone else? Whatever his name is, yeah, Booker, man, Booker. They got a really gun point guard as well who can do everything. And he is their point guard is worth his weight, definitely. Definitely worth his weight in gold. Chris Paul, not Paul George, sorry. Chris Paul, yes. Thank you for correcting me. Chris Paul is an outstanding player. CP, that's who I meant. Sorry, I've had a few of these and it's just starting to... Actually, Paul George is not much. I mean, he is a good player, but Chris Paul, yeah, man. Chris Paul, he is a very good player. He's like the modern-day John Stockton. He's got a very similar game. Yeah, Ayton as well. They got a good balance. They really do. They got guys that can shoot. They got a couple of post players. They got a pretty good defense. Boy George, that's right. I don't know, man. These modern day players, they might as well have the same name. Not amounting to nothing. You guys think the same? The league is just like it's a bunch of athletes now. You know what I mean? How many of them are winners? It's not that many. Man, John Stockton, fucking A. You know, the funny thing is like when you're watching him back in the day and you sort of don't give a damn, he's just a fucking little white dude, whatever. But as you sort of get older and you watch like what he's about, fuck, he was a tough player as well. He was really tough. But just fuck, his passing was just off the charts, like Stockton. Him and Malone had that pick and roll. You just could not stop it at all. Fucking Malone would just pin anyone in the pick, and it just... Mitch Richmond, man. That's another one. Honestly, I think post... Yeah, Jeff Hornacek's another one as well. Mitch Richmond, though, man. They used to call Mitch Richmond the Rock. right? Because he was one of them dudes. He was a big, solid dude. Mitch Richmond, the Rock, because he would take guys down to the post and just fucking, you couldn't move him off the post. He was so strong. Mitch Richmond, man, the Rock. When he was playing at Golden State Warriors, oh, dude. Who remembers fucking Run TMC? Run TMC, dude. Yeah. Yes, dude. Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullin. Fuck me. The Tim Hardaway, man. Fuck. He was unbelievable as a point guard. Which point guards do you reckon would fucking just fuck this? Like right now, if you took them and put them in today's system, I can think of like 4 or 5 that would fucking dominate this league. No, man, Richmond at Golden State. He was outstanding at Sacramento, but when he was at Golden State, fucking just off the charts. They were averaging 75 points a game or something. Yeah, Penny would be okay, but he's like a. I wasn't Penny's biggest fan. Like he was a great player, but he just didn't do enough, man. You know what I mean. And when I say he didn't do enough, like he had a couple of good years, he just fell off. His injuries fucked him. Tim Hardaway. These are 3 guys I reckon would fucking just crush the league right now. They'd probably be the best 3 players: Tim Hardaway, Mark Price, and Isaiah Thomas. Those 3 would be fucking. Yeah, I like Penny, man. Just not his biggest. You know what I mean? I hated Orlando like passionately. When Shaq came in and people were just like talking him up, even though he'd done nothing. And then he signed that ridiculous contract with the Lakers. Just left Orlando. He was like, to me, Shaq's a good player, but they changed a lot of the rules to let him get away with fucking murder. That drop the shoulder where he just lay people out and then dunk on them when they're on the ground. I mean, any other era, that's a fucking technical foul and close to an ejection. He got away with murder, man. Absolute fucking murder. I love Shaq, don't get me wrong, but it took me a long time for me to grow on him. I think I like his cards better than him. Let's be honest, he wasn't the most skilled guy. He used to just fucking brute force people. Yeah, don't fucking piss me off, Mick, all right? Jesus. Fucking Shaq, man. And I'm just going to put this on the record right now. Fucking Wilt Chamberlain would fucking push Shaq shit in something chronic. It'd be fucking game over. Wilt Chamberlain, bro. Fucking don't mess with me, man. Wilt Chamberlain. That's it. I said it. It's on the records. It's on the fucking records. 50 points a game for an entire season, Mick. 50 points a game. Doesn't matter the era. Doesn't matter nothing. 50 and 27 is what he averaged. Bill Russell is the only man alive. No, I like Penny, Mick. It's all right, bro. I like him. He'd go all right. I don't know if he'd play point guard or small forward these days. It would be like a point forward type thing because he's like 6'9", Penny. Yeah, man. Fucking. But yeah, you watch the interview on Bill Russell when he talks about Wilt. Now, Bill Russell is a man that has watched he's still alive, so he's seen every single era of basketball. Every single era. More rings than fingers, man. 11 rings. Now, also, he's watched basketball from the inception till now. He's more qualified than any person walking this earth to talk about who is the best player ever. He still says Wilt Chamberlain is the best player by far, and it's not even close. That is Bill Russell's opinion. And he's seen everybody play. I would just leave it at that. You can argue all you want back, but it's hard to discredit someone that has literally watched every era of basketball and is still entrenched in the game. The crazy shit is about Wilt is his athletic prowess, man. Like he literally had like godlike abilities. It was ridiculous. There was if you look at some of the stories, man, he would go places and people would challenge him and things. You know, he was going to fight Muhammad Ali in a boxing match, man. And Muhammad Ali's coach, who was Kazdamato at the time, thought that Wilt Chamberlain would knock him out. That's on YouTube as well. You can look at that. You can look at their weight. They do the weigh-in and everything, man. He was going to fight Muhammad Ali. Oh, my God. 80s ball. Mick, you're talking... Well, yeah, Kareem is still around too. There you go. That's another one as well. But he has a different opinion than Bill Russell, I think. Mick, we talking about being unfriended, bro. Wilt Chamberlain retired in fucking 1973. My all-time 5? Not necessarily, but you can't. Here's the thing: the other side to the coin is you actually can't prove who the best players are. It's just all opinions, man. It's just all opinions. You know, people get so bent out of shape. You know, it's just opinions. Even from really qualified people, it's still just opinions. You know, who's to say that the bench player who knew how to play his role wasn't the best player? Do you know what I mean? Because it is a team sport, which is a different way of looking at it. I know. People just look at who the scorers are and think that those guys are the best players. It's not always the case. My all-time starting 5? That's a great question. My all-time starting 5. It's probably different to most other people's. My all-time starting 5. Well, all right, this is how I'd run it, and I don't think this team would get beat. I don't know. I've got a couple of 5s that I reckon would be legit. So let's start at the center position. The center position, I'm going to put Wilt Chamberlain because he's the best center to ever play in the center position. It's pretty much not close either. He is by far the best center. People will say Kareem or blah, blah, blah. But go back to the 1972 fucking playoffs, man. Wilt fucked up Kareem big time and he was on his last legs. He fucking dominated him like a little bitch. And that was a young prime Kareem. MVP Kareem back in the day. That game 6 just fucking shut his shit down. Blocked like 5 of his skyhooks. He's the only person to ever block his skyhook. I'd run him in the 5. At number 4, I'd probably run Tim Duncan just because he's a 7-foot power forward with like every move in the book. Number 3, I run Larry Bird at number 3, definitely. Just because he can do everything. He could just sit on the 3-point line. He could move around. He could, he's good at everything. Number 2, probably MJ. Westbrook. Maybe my worst 5 of all time? Yeah, definitely Westbrook. There's no starting 5 I would even take Westbrook in. Not in any situation whatsoever. I would choose 50 point guards in front of Westbrook. Nah, instead of Bryant, I'll probably run LeBron James, man. Make him play point forward. So I'd have LeBron, Jordan, Bird, Duncan, and Wilt. I don't think that you could put a team in that would beat that just because of size, speed. The size is the biggest thing. I mean, your smallest player is MJ, and he's massive. He's massive for a 2-guard. He was like 220 pounds and built like a brick shithouse and, 6'7" or something. So he's your smallest player. And then LeBron's like 6'8". Larry Bird's like 6'10". Duncan's 7 foot. And Wilt was like 7'4". Wilt was listed as 7'1", but there was players that were like 7'2", 7'3", that they reckon he was taller than them. So he was probably 7'3". If you look at the picture of him when he's standing next to Kareem is like nearly 7'3". He's like, neck and neck with Kareem. So Yeah, I think that just the size and the athleticism of that team would, they've still got shooters. You got Bird, Jordan, and LeBron can all shoot. I mean, you could maybe try and find something that could beat that, but I reckon it would pretty much take any team to school. It's all hypotheticals, but it's all fun, isn't it? The only thing I think that might beat that is a super small team. Like if you go size wise, you're not going to win. Like because there's the best players of each size. But you're going to have your favorites in there. That's a good team. That is a really good team. Might get monstered a little bit on the boards though, Mark. I know Bird and Hakeem were good rebounders. Yeah, it's a good team too, that first one. That second team would be interesting to watch, wouldn't it? You got, Camp and Shaq. Fucking hell. You'd have that's going to monster people on the inside. Yeah, I thought Magic. I definitely was thinking Magic, but I reckon, I think Magic is if you look at LeBron now, LeBron is like a cross between, people say like Jordan and Magic Johnson, but he's more like a Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson, but with more athleticism. Probably doesn't have the killer instinct that they had, but man, Duncan's the best power forward ever. You pretty much can't argue that. I mean, yeah, you can, but I mean, you couldn't really stop him, and he won like 5 championships. Dude, I wouldn't even have Westbrook as my fucking bus driver. I wouldn't. He wouldn't come near my bus. I'd be like, no, bro. You go back to shit-stained fucking OKC where you're going to bomb out in the finals or wherever the fuck you're doing. Bounce around the league and just look like a bum. Fucking drive the hole at like a fucking 100 miles an hour and miss and brick your layups like he's been doing all season. Bricking layups. Dude, he's not even my bus driver, bro. No. I'll be a bus driver for Westbrook. He can drive the fucking handicap bus, but he's not driving my top 5. If I need someone that can fill in, man, I need a solid bus driver. Was Bird more of a 3 or 4? He played seasons in both. When in the early on, he actually played more. People don't know this, but he played more power forward. But Bird was one of the first like point forwards that in the half court he'd handle the ball. That's why he was, he averaged nearly 7 assists career. You look at Larry Bird's best statistic. Yeah, Larry, he'd be the lollipop lady. That's right. He'd be the holding the stick, letting the bus go through. Bird as a 4 in the early part. What a trio! What a fucking pedestrians! That's a pedestrian trio, definitely. Yeah, I think Bird played 3 more towards the end of his career, but in the start of his career, it was a combo, definitely a combo, and probably more 4 because when he first arrived, they had Cedric Maxwell in the 3 spot, and they both started, right? And you had Kevin McHale coming. That's why Kevin McHale wasn't on the starting lineup. Kevin McHale. That's the other one, right? I might swap Tim Duncan out for Kevin McHale if it's close. That's the best starting lineup ever. Oh man, oh fuck, that's so good. Swap out Sean Bradley for fucking Manute Bol or Big Country Reeves. That is so good. He was listed as a small forward, Mick, yeah. But he definitely played a lot of power forward as well. Like he played both. He was just like a forward. I don't know who else was sort of like that, but he definitely played both. He averaged over 10 rebounds for his career. So he was a great rebounder as well. which is more typical of the bigger forwards. Dude, can you guys imagine Larry Bird playing today? He would fucking just mop the floor with these clowns. It wouldn't even be funny. I'm not even kidding. He was shooting 40% from the 3-point line when it wasn't even a thing. Wasn't even a thing, man. People didn't even shoot threes at all. It was, if you shot threes back then, it was to win the game. It would send it into overtime and win the game. Now they do it like regulation. But he only averaged 1.5 3-pointers for his career and like 2.5 or 3 attempts per game. Think about that, man. He was definitely a point forward. He was one of the first, like the innovators of that point forward, man. Oh, Reggie would fucking he'd already be a multiple champion, I reckon. Reggie Miller, easy. He was shooting threes just like nobody's business. He'd easily have the 3-point record, man, because he was more of a like. Can you think of anyone coming off a screen better than Reggie Miller? You just couldn't leave him open at all. He was just money, you know. That's why I say all the time, man. These young kids get so bent out of shape. This era is fucking garbage, man. I've never seen anything like it. You know, and that's like don't get me wrong, like there's good players. There is really, really great players, but the league overall is not in a good state. If you're jacking up fucking, you know, what are they attempting now? 40, 50 threes a game? Think about that, man. People don't even think about it. Yeah. The clutch threes against the Knicks. Yes, I do. With that remember that, was it the 94 or 95 when he hit the in the last 10 seconds, he hit like 4 threes and tied the game. That was ridiculous, man. I watched a game today. I watched Denver versus who'd they play? Golden State. Denver versus Golden State, and I ended up switching it off. And Denver was up by about 20 points at one point, and then Curry hit like 4 threes, and the lead was in literally like 30 seconds, and the lead was down to like 5 points. And I was like, 20 points used to be like you couldn't come back from that. But now it's just like, you know, he must just practice threes and that's it. I think now too, like the league, what's hurting the league is there's way too many specialists rather than all-round basketball players. Back in the day, you used to have your bench players could come off the bench and they had a well-rounded game. Now there's just like 3-point shooters, post players, defend. You know what I mean? Like you got to have a niche, you know. Yeah, he hit like fucking 3 threes in like 8 seconds or some shit when he stole the ball off Starks, and he did that like turn around. Then he got it again off the inbound pass. It was fucking flat out, and he ended up tying. I don't know if they won that game, but he at least tied. I think they did win it, but I think the Knicks won that series. Yeah, he used to give it to Spike big time, man. Spike Lee. And that's the other thing too, isn't it? But the other part of that is the actual NBA itself is trying to make it a lot more sort of robotic and less emotional, which takes away from it teaches the players not to be as competitive. To compete and like to be competitive, you do need to have a bit of emotion. So if they're not able to have those little outbreaks, you know, it's going to just tell them that it's going to put the fire out. You know what I mean? And the game is just going to be won on raw skill and moments of pure skill base rather than a little bit of, you know, passion or emotion. Oh man, LeBron James, he took like 10 steps the other day, literally, like, and they didn't even call it. I'm like, okay, the fuck. No, seen guys pick up the dribble after they've dribbled it, pick it up, and then bounce again, like straight up. Should be double dribble, not just play on. So yeah, the refs, they fucking turn a blind eye to shit. I'm going to finish this drink, lads, and then go to bed. Number 2, I don't want to get too fucked up. 11 o'clock. Man, he does it all the time. It's like he's built it into his game, the 4 steps thing. It's fucking. He'll take one dribble at the top of the key and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 and jump. And they just don't even do anything. They just let it go. It's like that's just it's normal. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency, But these really super young kids is what they get used to, And I still love the game, but it definitely isn't as good, despite what people say and what they think. Man, I'm not kidding. I seen him take like 10 steps the other day. You look, just Google it. You'll see all these people have made their own videos of how he will take between 5 and 10 steps. It's just you're only supposed to take 2. It's fucking out of control. That's why man, I do like a bit of attitude, a bit of heart. He cares, man. He cares about winning and losing. That's why he gets fired up. I think they need to care. That's what they're there to do. But the league, they've changed it so they're trying to make it sort of more of putting on a show. Yeah, there still has to be winners and losers. A travel agent, Mick. Yeah, I think the college thing's hurting the game as well, where they're not developing under systems. They're too eager to come in and start making the massive contract deals straight away. The ref didn't see it. Yeah. The funniest thing though, if you look at how you go into NBA onto their YouTube channel and they do all those mixtapes. It's a good thing. It's a good thing they have YouTube, right? Because some of these younger fans can see some of the older players and see how they got down. The Larry Bird mixtape, the Ultimate Mixtape, is the most popular of all of the individual mixtapes, which is really, is more popular than Kobe, than all the others. Really interesting. So I think YouTube has sort of given a chance for some of these kids to see how these older guys got down. But it's hard for them to relate because they're seeing these dudes that just practice massive skill stuff. Yeah, bro, it's all good, Mick. Probably going to do another stream next week. We'll get back into we'll get the Grabber Slab going. But I am going to have some more information. I'm going to finish this up and go to bed too, guys. But yeah, I'm going to put out some information as we get closer to April around our group submissions. So give everyone a chance to get in, grab some slots, and we'll do it that way. So, but yeah, I'll put out more information as we get closer and make sure everyone's on board with it and all the rest of it. And anyone wants to ask questions, go the ponies. Good stuff. Cheers, Mick. All right, lads. Been 2.5 hours almost. I am going to call it as well. You guys, I probably am going to be on next Friday as well. We'll try and get this. I've got next Friday off as well. I've got to go to a funeral on Thursday. And then hopefully we can get Grabber Slab back on board and we'll talk some shit around card grading and some b-ball and some sports and stuff and all that. But yeah, group subs, man. It's going to be the way. Going to be the way for all of us. So we've got our little community now. We're pretty tight. So, we'll build on that and we'll get some happiness going for everybody. I think SGC, by the looks of what you guys are saying, should be the first avenue of where we look. But yeah, like I said, I'll put some more info out as we get closer to time, and we'll make sure all of our bases are covered before we go live with it. Anyway, boys, I'm going to peace out, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate your time. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, Mick, H10, Mark, Max. Don't miss anybody else. Shane, I thought I saw you in there, buddy. I don't know if you're still here. But I will catch you all guys later. Ciao.